Hello, my lovely learning designers. This is Anna Sabramowicz. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is going to be about how to create characters that people really care about. Now, I talk to a lot of interactive storytellers in our community, and one of the challenges we always have is how do I get somebody who is, kind of cold, not interested in this topic, to get them to actually care about the character that is in this interactive experience so that they follow through and they can resonate with them. And one of the things that I think we fall into and we forget is that, we say, oh, I have these various audiences. How do I make them care about just one person? Because there's so many people out there that I'm trying to reach. And I want you to think about the fact that movies do this all the time. Right? When you go to the movies, the character is not every single person in the room. But what happens is through specific manipulation, basically, of the characteristics that character shows us, they become in a way somebody we can relate to, and we can say, hey, you know what? That could be me. That could be me in that situation. So regardless of where that person is in the world, regardless of, who they are and where they were raised, if you do this strategically, you can make somebody connect with that single character, which makes our work easier, because if you have 6 different kinds of audiences, you definitely don't want to have to create 6 different kinds of characters with 6 different kind of backgrounds and all those things, right? And as far as I know, if you get 100 women in the room, that's 100 individual women or men or something else, right? So one of the things I want you to think about is that there's never going to be this one character that's going to fill all the needs of all the people, but you can be strategic about this. So what I'm going to do is get you into some tips on how to create these characters so that they are more relatable in your stories, because a lot of people struggle with, I come up with great scenarios, but how do I get these scenarios to be something that people want to finish? And that's why you would add a story, right? And one of the things that's really important then is to get you to care, your learner to care about that character. And you're thinking, okay, why does it matter if they care? And caring is actually very important. You've probably seen a movie where you didn't even care about finishing it because you didn't care about the hero and their journey. You didn't care about why they were going for things. You didn't resonate with them. You didn't like them very much. They didn't have depth. And then what happened is we have to care in order to want to finish. And that's kind of the big thing. We're really going for empathy, right? We're trying to create a character that people really feel something for. This is very important in storytelling. And what's important, why this is like such a cool hack for us to use as people who are trying to get people to learn something, is like one of the things that's pretty probably important to everybody is that once somebody gets into that learning experience, that somebody will actually want to finish it. And not just finish it because they have to, finish it because they want to see how it ends, see how it ends up. And one of the things you can do with storytelling, and if you do create a character that people empathize with and care about, is that every time a new decision comes up, a new situation comes up, what happens is that you can actually get somebody to care about the decisions they're making on behalf of that person. So a scenario comes up, they're not just randomly clicking. What they're doing is they're actually thinking about, hey, my character is going for this. This is what's important to them. In this situation, what's the best decision I can make to help them succeed? And that is huge, right? You want your learners to pay attention. You want them to care about the outcome. And this is one way to do it. Now, and like I said, the decisions, those are things that you want for people to really think through, not to do randomly, but to understand them in the context of not only the situation, but also how does it matter to an individual. And like I said, the propensity, because one of the things you're doing is with storytelling, you're opening up loops. You want to know how it ends. Sometimes we'll actually sit through a terrible movie because we care enough about the character that we will actually see it through to the end. Have you ever had that experience? So I have. So the other thing you want is when somebody gets really connected to the character, and I know you probably have a favorite movie that you watch over and over, and it doesn't matter if you know all the lines and you finished it. You've connected so deeply to that character that you get lost in that story. And there's a reason why this is very important for us as well. Because if you get lost in that story, then what happens is it's kind of like you let go of yourself. You become that person for a little bit, and that person's lessons can become your own because you've let down your guard a little bit. You've adopted that, suspension of disbelief. And now what you're doing is you're acting as if. And so for us, as people who are trying to get somebody to move from a place of you don't know what you don't know to a place of, hey, this could be you. You could be this successful leader, salesperson, mom, whatever it is. Let me show you a little bit of lessons. And those lessons that the character's getting become their lessons. So a lot of powerful things you can be accomplishing with something that seemingly feels so trivial, right? So the other critical point is that we want to do this at the start. Critical to make us like the character, that hero, at the start. You got to start off with somebody that we want to engage with right away. And this doesn't have to be huge. It actually is, like if you look through some of the best interactive experiences, this is 1 or 2 sentences. When I was creating my demo, Broken Coworker, everything was done in 9 sentences. Huge setup. We don't even have to go to that movie level magic. But I'm going to give you specific examples from movies so that if you want to do some homework, you can see we're always borrowing from Hollywood, right? But if you want to do some homework, then you can check out these movies. They're probably, for some of you are like, what? These are old. But anyways, I'll help you. Anyways, so there's going to be 5 things that I want to share with you that you can do to make your character likable, more relatable. And you can just choose one. You can do a combo. I say if you're just starting out, try one. Or model something that inspires you. You're like, I want this to be this kind of character because it works for my context and it works with my learners and it resonates with the people that I interviewed, the people that I'm working with, my experts, my practitioners. This kind of sounds like somebody that would resonate with them. Okay, so the first thing is misfortune. Put the character in some kind of misfortune. Now, I think one of the best examples of this is from one of my favorite movies, Hope Floats. It's with Sandra Bullock. Now, if you haven't seen it, basically what happens in that movie is the movie begins with the character in misfortune. Sandra Bullock is in on a talk show, one of those like Kathy Lee or something talk shows. She gets this blindfold taken off her and she realizes she's sitting beside her best friend. She's like, oh, hi, what's going on? And her best friend's like, oh, I love you. I really care about you. And by the way, I'm cheating on you, or I'm cheating with your husband. I'm having an affair with your husband. And all of a sudden, we see the husband is there as well. He tells her that he's cheating on her, and Sandra Bullock is obviously wrecked, hurt. And then she looks out into the audience, and her little daughter is there, and her daughter's crying because she also just found out publicly that her parents, don't love each other anymore. Or at least the dad doesn't, right? So from the very beginning, like regardless of what happens next, I have supreme empathy and caring about Sandra because something unfair has happened to her. And the same, I could give you tons more examples, but I thought that one was really, really good because we don't need to know the context. We just know that and we care about the character because it's so unfair. It's so uncool, right? So that's a good one. Misfortune, don't forget that one. Now, kindness, make them a kind person. So one of my favorite is the opening scene of Hunger Games, where Katniss Aberdeen, I think that's her last name, is her sister is crying and she's comforting her little sister. Her sister had a nightmare. And then what Katniss does, not only does she comfort her, then she ends up singing for her, singing to her to help her get back to sleep. Now, that is pretty cool. And those acts of kindness make us warm up to somebody. And that is such a small thing that you can do, like a single statement where somebody is interacting with somebody and you could be, helping a grandma carry her groceries up the stairs and grandma going, oh, thanks so much, Julia. That was so kind of you. Boom. I already know I like that person because they're kind. So some sort of terrible misfortune and not terrible, but just like unfair, something unfair happens, right? A kindness, showing that they are kind, huge. Another one would be that they are industrious or powerful. Like when you think about movies that are based around superheroes. Now, my favorite one is the 1989 Batman, where these guys rob a family and Batman beats up the robbers, not the family, beats up the robbers, and he shows them how powerful he is, but he also lets them go. He doesn't beat them up so much that they are like there's a balance there, and you love the fact that he's so powerful, but he also reins himself in. That makes him a really great character, and so that's why he's likable, because he didn't hurt them. He is a vigilante, but he has code, right? Which is really cool. The other person, Shrek. Every Shrek I've ever seen, I've loved. And Shrek is, when you think about it, he's very industrious. He has all these things. The first sequence of the movie is he's doing all these things that are just so quirky and just they're genius in their own way. He's very industrious. He's also very funny. So they combined a lot of things there. He's in some ways quite kind. He doesn't hurt the people that come with pitchforks at him. So there's a lot of things there that you can do to combine even these different pieces by adding these little quirks. Like for funny, I thought of Shrek, definitely, because he has a great sense of humor, and you get that. And that even if somebody isn't definitely the best person in the world, if they're funny, then that's kind of like, especially if they make us laugh, that's one of the things that we love, and we will finish the story because we like that in people, right? That they make us laugh. Now, another one would be like in Transformers, Sam Witwicky, the Shia LaBeouf's. He's a goofball. He's a little bit quirky, and that makes him likable as well. Now, the last one is to put somebody in danger, your hero in danger. Now, the danger doesn't need to be like you're on the hanging off a building or anything like that. What you're doing is, I mean, in movies, every single like action movie begins with like a danger scene, right? Where the hero is in danger, James Bond, all those, right? Basically it starts off and we immediately care about somebody who is in danger, but also in danger of losing something. So if you think about Spider-Man, he's in danger of maybe losing a scholarship, or like in the very beginning, I think it was the second or third one, where he was balancing so many things that he was in danger of losing like his job, his school, his scholarships, all those things. So that's another way you can actually amplify emotion, because that's really what we're trying to do here, is make an emotional connection with somebody, right? And if you think about, what's a really great combo of that is, another one comes from Transformers. It was actually Colonel William Lennox. He, in the very beginning, what happens is, not only does he have a child come up to him and give him water, so he's likable, right? There's a kindness there. The child likes him, which is important. So if you show kindness and somebody else being kind in return, that means you're a good person because somebody else has earned that from you. So there's a kindness. He's in danger right away. He's funny because he's talking to his wife about their baby being farty. So there's all this combo. Now, like I said, when you're crafting your interactive story, we're not crafting for entertainment. When you're getting your scenarios all wrapped up in a beautiful experience, you're not doing that for entertainment. You're doing that to help people get a lesson, learn something, right? Which is so important. And one of the things that you want to do is move there very, very quickly. So I suggest you check out movies in order to see how quickly we can bond with characters, and what are some little nuances that somebody can do, or that movie producers do, in order to create that empathy with the hero, and where they don't. So that those are movies that fail. But then also realize that we're doing this for a different purpose. Therefore, our timeline is way shorter, and we have to get there way faster. And you're going to have to let go of some of your darlings, right? And be like, I wanted to model this character, but this is way too much setup. I need to get to the decisions now. I need to get to the scenarios that help people learn. So the best way to do that is to just write out a couple of key sentences and then move on. Think about it, let it percolate, and come back. And also see how little you can put there before somebody's thinking, this is actually enough for me to care about this character. And it could be, like I said, just a couple of sentences that describe what happened that day, or a situation that really quickly lets us know this is a great person and we should care about the outcome of their story. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any comments or questions, I'd love to see them. Post them down below. The other thing is that if you enjoyed these videos, make sure you subscribe and like so that you get notified when the next video is coming out. And if you are you're so excited about interactive storytelling, and maybe you need a little bit of guidance and help on how to get that story, that first one rolling, or maybe your third one rolling, and really apply these principles, I'd love to talk to you. Underneath the video, I'll put a link to one of my calendars. Basically, what you get to do is book a strategy session with me. And if you're serious about making this your next project, whether it's for your work or for yourself, I'd love to explore that with you. So make sure you click that link below and actually book a strategy session with me so we can talk about what that would take. All right, so hope this was useful. Hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Hope those movies inspired you. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye.